What does it mean to be a slave to God? Welcome to your daily 180 Bible study. We've been talking about the significance of the words of Paul when he says, I am a bondservant of Jesus Christ. We are no longer slaves of sin to walk in the lust thereof and to fulfill those lusts, but we are slaves of righteousness. We are slaves of the Most High God. We have talked about the fact that a slave is to be a steward of the things that are given to him, things that are not his own, but he takes care of and administers according not to his own will, but to the will of his master. And that ultimately is what a slave really is. Someone who does not live to do his own will, but the will of another. In Matthew chapter 8, we read about a centurion whose own servant was sick and at the point of death. And he hears about Jesus. And he sends word to the Savior, and he says to him in verse number 7, Lord, my servant, or verse 6, my servant is lying at home paralyzed, dreadfully tormented. Jesus says, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof, but only speak a word and my servant will be healed. For I also am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this one, go, and he goes, to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. Here's a military man. He understands this idea of submission and authority. And he recognizes that Jesus has authority over all things. Jesus doesn't have to come to the house. Jesus can send one of his disciples to the house to heal this man. Jesus could just send his word to the house and heal this man from where he is. He understands how authority works. We are going to be slaves to the one that we obey. To the one who says, do this, and we do it. Now, who is that in your life? Jesus says in John 5, verse 30, I didn't come to do my own will, but the will of the one who sent me. In Matthew 26 and verse 39, when Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, you remember, it was his own will that this cup of suffering would pass from him. But what does Jesus say? Not my will, but your will be done. We see who it is that Jesus was serving. Whose will are you seeking to accomplish on this earth? Whose slave are you?